what is going on YouTube? So today's video is yet another one of those videos that I know a lot of people aren't gonna want to see, but I want to say shout out to the ones that always like encourage me and say that they don't mind watching this type of stuff, because again, as I've stated a bunch of times before, this is stuff that I have to get done. And I think I said it in a past video, but the water pump on old Rambo is leaking, and I confirmed it a few minutes ago. I just dropped the trash off at the dump, and right now I'm on the way to Nashville. I'm gonna pick up a thermostat. I'm gonna get a brand new thermostat. Since we're gonna be pulling the lines and stuff off, I might as well do a fresh thermostat in it. And I'm gonna get some coolant so that when we drain, we can refill with all fresh coolant. And hopefully this process goes really smooth. My water pump is in the back seat. Shout out to Rock Auto. I got a actual Gates water pump for about 60 bucks. So really good deal there, I think, because as you know, like, Gates is a decent brand. And yeah, I got the water pump with the little rubber gasket for 60 bucks. So really good deal there, I think. I'm pretty sure this thing hasn't been changed out, and this truck does have 260,000+ miles on it now, so it's probably definitely time for one, because we do put it through its paces really hard. And you know, we tow with this thing, we go to the Dragon, towing cars and just through the mountains and stuff. It's a lot on a vehicle, man. It's a lot on a truck. Like, it's one thing to drive a shitbox Honda, just, you know, and just try to make it 7-8 hours, but it's different, man, for a truck, because you gotta remember, you're not only driving a truck, then the truck is heavy itself, then you got a trailer, then you got a whole car on the trailer, and it's a big strain on the vehicle. So definitely want to try to keep it up to date, keep the maintenance good on it, keep running that Royal Purple in it, and yeah, just try to make it last, man, because this is my first truck, and I'm hoping it'll last me a long time. So that being said, grab this stuff in Nashville. I'll probably pick the camera back up once we get back home. She is in, boys. She is in. This is a big boy. I like this motherfucker here, boy. Telling you. She just is clearing back here, though. Just is got it in. And we still got plenty of room to work up front. Fucking great, bro. I picked like the best freaking size as far as the perimeter goes for a shop, bro. Like, this is such a great, like, it's compact, yet it's big enough to accommodate stuff like this. The only thing I wish now that I would have done back then is go higher with my roof. Like, my roof is 8 feet on the edges, so it's probably about 10 or so at the peak. But I feel like I should have did like a good 10 to 12 feet on the edges, so that it would have been just, and then I could have done a taller door. If I would have done like another 2 foot taller door, oh my God, this shot would have been freaking perfect. But nonetheless, she did fit, so it's in now. That was the first bit of concern I had. The next thing I gotta worry about, really, I think the only thing that I'm worried about as far as doing this water pump is breaking that bolt loose for the fan clutch, where the fan bolts onto the fan clutch. That's like my main thing that I'm worried about. But guys, I seem to recall a while back, like last year sometime, I bought a fan clutch because I was thinking that my fan clutch was having issues, because under heavy load, like not necessarily pulling a trailer, but like when I'm just accelerating pretty hard, like past, like if I don't know how to explain it, but if I'm really like 80-90% throttle, like giving this thing some of the beans, the temp gauge, sometimes it'll rise up a little bit past halfway, but it only does that when I'm doing that. Like if I'm just cruising, it never goes past, it's always just a little bit under halfway. And when I'm trailering, it'll do that. But I've learned it's not really an issue, because like all the times that we've took this thing through the mountains, and I mean, this thing just like it's just clapping for like, I don't know, 5 minutes at a time trying to climb hills and stuff. That temp gauge never goes past that little bit. Like if it creeps up over halfway, that's all it does. Like it never goes past that. And it could be the water pump just tired that's in it. It could be the coolant just worn out and broken down that's in it too. And maybe that's not cooling like it probably should, because they do say you should change your coolant every so many thousand miles too. So that could be a thing, but it's definitely not this fan clutch. Me and Jeff looked it over. The fan clutch has plenty of resistance. Like the fan doesn't spin freely at all. Like when you flick it, like it just rotates like a little bit of a turn and stops. Like it's got plenty of resistance still. So it's not the fan clutch. Let me see if I can gather some tools and we'll get started. All right, boys, so I'm gonna knock off for the night right here. Unfortunately, it took me, well, it didn't take me long to figure out that tightening up on the tensioner and trying to bust this bolt loose was just not gonna work. So what I ended up having to do is rent this fan clutch holder tool from AutoZone. I ended up having to use just straight leverage, and luckily, man, she broke loose. That was my biggest concern with this project, just because, again, we did try it before, me and Jeff, for a brief moment, and we could not get it to break that day. And I specifically remembered that because, again, like I said, I have a brand new fan clutch right there. Water pump installation is underway. All right, guys, so water pump is off. I've been cleaning up that mating surface, making sure it's nice and smooth for the new gasket. One great thing about these trucks that I like, I'm not sure what other V8s are like this, but I know for Hondas, it does not go this smoothly, and that's because Hondas, for some reason, never really want to use a gasket. They always want to RTV, Honda bun. So this thing just has a rubber gasket that seats up against it, and that, you know, holds as it should or whatever. You don't have to put no RTV in corners and stuff like that. And that's one thing, when I looked up how to do this, I really enjoy it, because that stuff scares me. I always feel like I'm gonna have a leak somewhere no matter what. But yeah, we got the old one off. As you can see here, it's the old unit. And you can look around and see I've already laid the bolts back out as they go. So the new one is completely free now. That way when I hang it into the engine bay, I can just take one bolt or so and put them where they go, as you know, and make my way all the way around. That way I know every bolt went back exactly where it should, because they are different lengths. Also, I cleaned up this water neck. It was a little pitted, nothing major, but I did wire brush it, and I laid a little bit of Rust-Oleum, just semi-gloss paint and primer in one. Laid a little bit on there, so I'm letting it dry. But it's gonna be a while before I put the hose back, because I gotta mount this, torque all of these bolts down, and I can put these hoses on and everything. That can be pretty much the last hose that I put on, so it should be pretty good and dry by then. I'm gonna start rambling along and try to go ahead and get this thing mounted back in. Alright boys, so she has been running for a while. The thermostat finally opened up and she is burping guys. She's getting all the bubbles out. She is getting all the bubbles out. I'm gonna just keep letting it do its thing. It's not all the way quite at operate. Hold on, what's she doing? Yeah, she go up and down, up and down. You can tell she's bleeding it out. She is bleeding it out. But if you look close, you can see that pump is moving some fluid. You see it moving. That pump is moving some fluids. But she isn't quite all the way to operating temp yet. But the thermostat has opened up. And as you can see, it is just below the halfway mark. And it could run better. It could stay like this now. Because I'm just so used to how it was. It used to always go a little bit past halfway. And then I guess the thermostat would open or whatever would happen will allow it to come back down to about the halfway mark. And that's where it would sit. But right now, as you can see, man, this thing is sitting, it is sitting well below. She is sitting well below the halfway. And again, I'm letting it run. I'm gonna let it run probably for another 15 minutes or so and just really try to make sure I burp this system really good and make sure we're good. But the heat is on. I feel heat in here. That feels great right now. I got it on low, but I do got it on heat, so the blend door is switched over to the heat side. That's feeling good. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep running it, man, for a while. I just want to make dead sure we get all the air pockets out and see where this thing lands finally. Like maybe it's normal, because I know the factory thermostat on these requires 203 degrees before it opens. That's factory. You can get a lower temp one, but I don't really like messing with that stuff. I'd rather it open when it's supposed to and just work as it's supposed to. So that's why I try to stick with the factory temperature. But they do make lower temp ones, which might help as far as towing goes, but I don't know. I'm just gonna keep letting it. You can see it's slowly getting up to that halfway point, which is where it normally sits at. So it's not a big deal if it does ride there, then I'll know it was normal. But yeah, we're just burping this baby out, man. Trying to get her right. Hopefully we don't have any issues, man. I've been praying about it, boy, because I really don't want any problems. I would like this to go as smooth as possible. We are getting her right. So far, so good. Now I cut the heat off, guys, because I really want y'all to hear how, like, listen how smooth this joker runs, man. Like, this thing is freaking smooth, bro. So smooth. And it's been running for a good while now, man. I know it's been running for about, it's at least been running for 30 minutes or so. I probably let it run to about 12:15, 12:20. I'm really trying to make sure all of those air pockets are out, which I haven't seen many bubbles anymore since the thermostat opened up and stuff. But I mean, she is purring, boys. Listen to them duels. God, so mighty, boy. Big Rambo. Temp gauge is still sitting just below the halfway mark. this truck got dents and it didn't have a perfect paint, and then the hood got messed up at the car wash, so now I got a black hood on it. I know all of this stuff is true, bro, and it's definitely far from a perfect truck, but for some reason, man, this thing always makes me smile. I don't know what it is. Like every time I drive it, and the little pipe noise and the roar of the 35s and it being level. And even though it's not a diesel, it's still a 2500. It's still a heavier duty truck than a 1500. So it's got the same motor, but the transmission, the rear end, all of that's like some big boy shit. So I don't know, man. I just love this thing. So making my little lap. I got like a little triangle that I cut around the house, and just drive it, just drive it. I think we're good though. I'm just doing a little test ride. Tires roaring. Big Rambo dog. Floating, dog. Float, man. This thing is just, she is running beautifully below, bro. And I mean, it is cold today. We'll give it that, it's cold. But even when it was cold, bro, it used to always just go up a little bit, like, I don't know, when you first started. And then I still need to test, like when we tow, see if it's doing any better under load with the towing and stuff. But I think we got us a winner, man. Well, that's pretty much gonna wrap this video up right here, guys. I know, again, it's not the typical Honda stuff that y'all like to see, but it was something that I had to get done. So bear with me as I try to do maintenance items on my off days so that we can try to prepare more for the actual fun stuff that's to come. But man, that went really, really well, man. So again, I'm gonna drive this probably every day now, like from here on out, even though I only got one more day to work, which is Monday. But I'm gonna try to drive it. I'm gonna try to drive this thing, man, because I want to give y'all an update, and hopefully we don't have any more loss of coolant. So that being said, man, hope y'all enjoyed the video somewhat. I will catch y'all next time. Remember, guys, respect our bills. Peace out.